Hello. In this video, we're going to rewrite f of x equals 3x squared plus 6x minus 4 in vertex form. In our previous video, we looked at how to rewrite a quadratic function which is in standard form, as shown here, in vertex form. However, we dealt with a very specific case before, and that specific case was where a is equal to 1. But notice in this case, a is not equal to 1. A is equal to 3. So the question is, what do I do if my a term is not equal to 1? And there's one added step we have to perform when our a term is at 1. When completing the square, which is to take a quadratic function in standard form and rewrite it in vertex form, the first step is to factor a out of the first two terms. So the first two terms are right here. Now, I could factor it out of all three terms, but most people will factor it out of two. So I'm going to factor a out of the first two terms. So a in this case is 3, so I'm going to say 3. And 3 times what gives me 3? Well, we know 3 times 1 gives me 3, so that's left with x squared plus. 3 times what gives me 6? And we know 3 times 2 gives me 6, so that's x. And then I have to keep this minus 4 here at the end. From this point on, we're going to complete the square just like the other examples. But we're going to look at our a term for the x squared now is 1, and the b term is 2. So remember, the next step is to add and subtract that special number. And sometimes we'll say the magic number. And the magic number is always b over 2 squared. So in this case, b would be 2. So I'm going to say 2 over 2 squared, which is going to give me 1. So now, I rewrite this line, and what I do is I change color here, I add 1 and I subtract 1. Remember, the reason I can do this is because I add and subtract that value, it has no effect on the actual function itself. The add 1 and subtract 1 cancel each other out. However, by adding that magic number, we see something very nice happen. And what that is if we've picked that magic number correctly, this is a perfect square. So we say two numbers that multiply to give me 1, but add to give me 2, and that is 1 and 1. Let's keep our colors the same here. So I'm going to end up with 3 times x plus 1 squared minus 1, close my bracket, minus 4. So now the last step is, at the start we factored out the a term, and to round things out we need to multiply the a term back in. So I end up with 3 bracket x plus 1 squared. And remember, the 3 is going to multiply the brackets as well as this minus 1, minus 3, minus 4. And therefore, f of x equals 3x squared plus 6x minus 4, written in vertex form, is 3 times x plus 1 squared minus 7. And we're done. I hope that helped. Hello.